Okay, so for those of you who may have missed our lesson when we went over the RACES writing strategy, or for those of you who just need a review or reminder, this video is for you. So the RACES strategy is a way to write a solid body paragraph. So when you're writing an essay, you have an introduction, then you have body paragraphs, and then a conclusion paragraph. It's also a great way to write a CRQ, which we will be practicing bi-weekly at West. So RACES stands for restate the question, answer the question, cite evidence, explain your evidence, and sum it up. Some of you may have learned this in different ways, different acronyms or tools on how to write a good body paragraph. But basically, you want to start out with a strong topic sentence where you state your reason. You want to give examples and evidence and make sure you are thoroughly explaining them. And then you want to conclude and sum it up. That's the basic formula for a solid paragraph. Why does this matter? Well, let's take a look at an example together. We were asked the questions, are hot dogs better than hamburgers? And you wanted to say, no, they are not. This is how you could write a solid body paragraph. Restate it by saying hot dogs are not better than hamburgers because. So you've tagged the question, added the word because on the end, so you are now ready to answer it by saying because hamburgers appeal to a wider audience. There's my main reason, and now I want to give evidence to support that reason. Surveys show that more people prefer hamburgers to hot dogs due to their condiment variety, Gorley 13. That is an example of cited evidence. I took a fact from a source that I made up that's Gorley 13, but I put the author's name and the page number or the year, and now I'm going to explain how that piece of evidence proves my main reason. Since hamburgers typically contain more condiments than hot dogs, such as cheese and lettuce, they offer more variety for more people's unique taste buds. So because hot dogs can only have a few things on them, when hamburgers can have tons of combinations, more people are going to like them. So I've restated and answered my question, I've given evidence, I've explained my evidence, and now I'm just going to sum it up. In conclusion, hot dogs are not better than hamburgers as they do not offer as much variety. So I'm still tying everything back together to my main reason without, just copying it word for word. This is a very simple example, but this should show you generally how it works, how you give a strong thesis with your reason, evidence and explanation, and a conclusion. So to start, you need to make sure you know how to restate, or you may have heard it called tagging the question. There's actually a simple formula for this. For the most part, you just have to take out the question words, and you're going to add words like because, due to, since, or by. So for example, why do people love McDonald's? Well, if you cross out the question words why do, and you add because, you get people love McDonald's because, and then your reason. Sometimes if it's asking you a yes or no question, like should you go to school, instead of crossing out the question word should, you move it and you add not, depending on your answer. So you should go to school since, or you should not go to school since blank. This is a kind of question you will often see on Keystones, our state tests, or the SATs. They will say things like, analyze how the characters change over time. Well, same formula, we cross out those question words and we start out with the characters change over time, due to, since, by, because of, and then our main reason. So the majority of the time, this formula should work to help you clearly restate and address your question and then jump right into your answer. I'm going to show you guys a quick example real quick. This Google Doc is a RACES graphic organizer, so you guys will all have access to this to use on your own when you write an essay. But when we have a question like, should West continue remote learning for the rest of the school year? For my restate, when it's a should question, I start out with West, and then I would say should or should not. So I'm going to say they should continue remote learning for the rest of the school year because, and then I want to give my answer. So you don't want to give an example here. You want to think of a general, big, vague reason, and then you're going to get specific in your cite evidence. So maybe my reason is because it will guarantee students safety. Okay, a general reason, and now I can give examples. I also have some sentence starters for you, so you can say things like, for instance, or for example, and then I might give my first piece of evidence that if students have to travel to school each day, they will be more increasingly exposed to people with coronavirus. And then I'm going to explain how it would guarantee safety. So I can say this evidence shows, and then I can maybe explain how if students do not have to travel and they're not exposed to COVID virus, then they'll be safer at home, and therefore we should continue remote learning. I then will give another example. You typically want to give 2 to 3 solid examples to make a good body paragraph. You explain it again. And then in the end, you can sum it up using one of these transition words like therefore, and you restate your main points in a new way. So this is how you can use this graphic organizer and these sentence starters to help you write a solid body paragraph. If you need any other help with the RACES strategy, please reach out to Ms. G.